So I wanted to give an update on the Cannabis Oil Secrets, the Forbidden Elixir of Hope, the book I'm writing, and it's due to be out in like right around the end of quarter 1, which is March of 2026, right? So I've written about 50 to 60,000 words so far, and now it's time to start planning the actual book, the structure of it, and then going into the outline. And I thought it'd be cool just to share that process with you along the way, in case you're interested how a book comes out, and then you could also see what's going on with the book. And if you have any suggestions for me as you see these videos, you can put them in the comments, and I could possibly add that to the book if you have a suggestion for something I'm missing, or you need something to be more clear, etc. All right, so I'll be making videos like this along the way as the book is being developed. So like I said, we've written about 50 to 60,000 words so far. I expect it to be about 100,000 words in total. So right now it's time to actually do what's called a book planning summary. And then after that, the next step would be to make like the table of contents. So this is basically like the outline of the book, and like why I'm doing it, and then what's going to be in it, basically. All right. So I'm gonna go over the book planning summary just to give you like an idea of what the book's about, so you can give me some suggestions and things like that if any come to mind for you. And then also I'm just going to document this for myself to have a history of this book, because it's a really significant book for me that I'm putting out, and I want to document the process of steps that I take along the way. So let's get into it. So the first thing is, in the book planning summary is who's your target audience? And my target audience is people with serious chronic conditions like cancer, chronic pain, fibromyalgia, neuropathy, anxiety, stress, depression, panic attacks, all that kind of stuff. Those are people that I'm dealing with right now. Almost 100% of the people that come to me right now have chronic conditions, and so that's what the book is geared more towards. It does will help people. I'm going to talk about it a lot. People for general wellness and how to sort of prevent these other conditions from coming on, so you don't have to be in the chronic condition category and you can just maintain health. I'm going to have that for sure. But like I said, most of the people that are actually coming to me to seek out products or seek out like protocols or advice, then they have chronic conditions. And like about 80 to 90% of them have cancer. It's really interesting. So the focus again will be on hardcore conditions rather than casual wellness, but we will have tons of information in there for preventative care, so you don't have things come on, and you could live a healthy, vibrant life, basically. And then the tone is more educational, professional, but I'm really good at using really simple terms to explain complex situations, and so everybody, even children, could understand what's going on and able to start their health journey at a young age. So the goals for the book are to, obviously for me, personally, to establish authority and expertise by showing all the knowledge that I have in cannabis, working with it since 1987, to educate on the complete solution. So it's not just about having the right stuff, like the proper full extract cannabis oil or Rick Simpson oil, whatever you want to call it. It's also about having the right protocol, understanding how to take it, and then having the supporting supplements that'll help the RSO or FECO to work better, right? And then we'll showcase like the actual complete package that I have, which is the RSO or FECO, having the quality versions of that, the daytime, the nighttime formula, the supporting supplements, the actual protocols to go along with the particular condition. So I have different protocols for different conditions. And then the free consultations that I have throughout the journey, not just at the beginning to get your products, but actually to help you adjust your protocol, to develop the protocol and then adjust the protocol, up or down, or whatever, or once you overcome your situation, going into a maintenance phase, all that kind of stuff we do for free to our customers and clients, right? So, and then we have a private community for community support. So all these different things put together are the complete package, and we'll explain exactly what all that is and what it entails. And pretty much most of it's free. You just pay for the products, and everything else comes along with it. It's super cool, right? And then we're gonna, obviously, like I mentioned, position the brand, and one of the things that I have that's unique is I have a CBD-dominant version of the RSO that I developed, and it's actually 5 different cannabinoids that have to naturally occur in these specific ratios. So I'm the only one in the world that has this oil, and I call it the daytime version of RSO because it doesn't get you high, but it works just as good or better than the THC dominant version. And so the THC dominant version is the nighttime version. So I talk about the daytime and nighttime version, and then I show how to use both of them together in the protocols and stuff like that. It's super cool. And then I include my personal journey, going blind from glaucoma, getting my vision back with cannabis oils, crushing a lifetime of chronic pain along the way. Also talk about how I'm patient zero for the company, because if I stop taking the oils, then I'll go blind in about 6 or 7 days, so a week or less, and I'll go into chronic pain in about day 3 or 4, so even sooner. So I'll be like curled up in a ball with migraines and chronic pain and not able to see, in a week. So when I make these oils and test them out of myself, I stop taking everything else and just take that oil. And if I stop losing my eyesight, then that oil doesn't work. If I'm able to maintain my eyesight, then that oil does work. So that's how I was able to develop this. Like everybody else is just sort of guessing, like they think, oh yeah, this oil looks good, or I extracted it correctly, so it must work or something. But like we actually have proof in the pudding from I first tested on myself, and then once I have one that works, then we test it on other people, and then after we tested it on many other people, then we release it out to the public. So we tested out that version, the CBD dominant version, for 2 years on people before releasing it to the public, just to validate, its efficacy. Alrighty, and then so we go into all that stuff, and then, like I said, the book's going to be about 200 to 300 pages, somewhere in there, including everything, like the meat of the book, the case studies, the protocols, the glossary of terms, the appendices, all that kind of stuff. Will be all that in total will be about 200 plus pages, and then let's see, it's expected to be out by the end of Q1 2026, which is March of 2026. And then like as far as we'll go into like the content foundation for the book, I have like a huge library of content to draw from, and then I've written, like I said, 60,000 or so words so far. And, there's a lot more content that I put in, just doing this so you can organize it and fill in the blanks, basically. But there's some key messages that, like about 4 or 5 key messages that you want to, bring out and, to the surface, into the world about cannabis. And the first one is sort of like the history of it and why I consider it the Forbidden Elixir of Hope, because it's been used for over, for thousands of years, since 3000 to 5000 BC, documented, for medicinal or therapeutic purposes, right? And now it's banned, when it was used for thousands of years previously. So why is that? We'll go over that in the book. The message number 2, key message number 2, is why I consider it an essential nutrient, like an essential nutrient that your body requires on a daily basis to operate at the utmost optimal levels, right? So it's not a medicine that you take when you get sick. It's an essential nutrient that you take daily to maintain health. All right. So I'll explain all that and why I understand that that's what the case is, and why I'm confused why other professionals don't understand that. And then number three key message is huge. One of the biggest things, that quality is everything from soil to oil, is what I like to say. At the quality of the soil that the cannabis is grown in, the quality of the seed, the genetics of it, how the nutrients that are used to grow it, are they organic, biodynamic, and not full of chemicals. All these different things matter. How it's extracted, how it's formulated, and all that kind of stuff. So like literally from soil to oil, getting people to understand that and why, going into detail with that. And then key message number 4 is talking like all about that breakthrough CBD dominant formula that I have that I call the daytime version. And it's not just like CBD dominant hemp plant, extracted the RSO way. It's it has to have 5 different cannabinoids naturally occurring, and I go over all of that. I actually just made a video on it, which is basically the chapter that this is talking about. And there'll probably be more information, but it's a pretty extensive video, and I'll probably link it at the end of this video, just as I mentioned it here. But it's pretty cool, and I love it. It's what I take mostly. I don't really take the THC dominant version anymore for my glaucoma, because the CBD dominant version works so well, and it doesn't get you high. I smoke marijuana, for recreation, but I have to help people during the day, and they have serious conditions. So I take the CBD dominant version because it doesn't get you high, but I'm able to maintain my eyesight and prevent migraines from coming on, and prevent the chronic pain that I have from years of powerlifting. Right. So super, super cool. And then let's see here if there's another key message. Yeah, key message number 5 is the protocols and support system that we provide. So like we said previously, I believe, it's not just having the right stuff, it's having knowing how to take it, which is what the protocols are. And we have protocols for different conditions. Remember that. So for cancer, all 4 stages, chronic pain, fibromyalgia, neuropathies, anxiety, stress, depression, panic attacks, all that stuff, right? So we have separate protocols for all that, and we provide that for free, and then ongoing consultations throughout the journey, and then taper down into a maintenance phase afterwards. And then, like I said, adjusting protocols along the way if need be, and just having a community support. Like we have a free community to join with other people that are going through various forms of, ill health and maintaining optimal health. Some people have had cancer, etc., and are now cancer free, and they're maintaining that, and they maintain it, through proper nutrition and proper supplementation, but also being around a community that sort of reminds them to maintain that success, and not just like slowly fall off and then have things come back, like what happens to so many people out there, right? So that's basically the gist of what the book is. And next up the next video on the book will probably be the table of contents, and that'll be super, super awesome, because that means the book's getting really, really close to being put together. And once that's done, then we just send it to the editor. I have all the knowledge for the other like 40,000 or so words that need to be written, and a lot of it's in video. It just needs to be transcribed down into words and put into like book text instead of speaking text. So it's not like I have to like research or do a bunch of stuff. I get that, all that's already been done. It's just a matter of putting everything onto paper, and then getting the supporting documentation, like bibliography, like clinical studies and trials and things like that to support what I'm saying, and also anecdotal evidence through the case studies and testimonials, etc. But it's getting really close to being done. Like I said, maybe 5 or 6 months from now, because after I get all that done, then it just goes to the editor, and that process can take a while. You never know how long that could be. depending on the quality of the editor and what we call it, like so how many trips back and forth from that person back to me that makes the the changes and edits, whatever, or approves the edits that they made or whatever it is, and then going back, so all that will take probably about 5 or 6 months. Like I said, about March of 2026, because the date is October 24th, 2025. So hopefully you're going to be looking forward to this book. I know that I am. I've been planning it for a while, and I've just recently had the time to actually organize everything into a logical, quality book. Because I've written a book before. It was on general health called Better Living with Whole Foods. It was released about 2007 or 8. And it was really, really awesome and got really good reviews and helped a ton of people. So I need to keep that quality up and with this book and just write something super awesome that could help people all across the world. All right. So Elmer Renton, My Fit Life, Cannabis Oil Secrets. Peace.